this week's Sunday night film was The Dancing Masters, a Laurel and Hardy picture from 1943, and one of the six they made for 20th Century Fox later in their career. I might have mentioned on the earlier review of Jitterbugs that they moved to 20th Century Fox from Hal Roach's studio, hoping that with the backing of a huge studio they'd be able to make the films they'd always wanted to do. Unfortunately, they wound up just being comic relief in other people's pictures. The Dancing Masters, out of the four that I've seen so far, seems to be the exception in that it actually feels like a Laurel and Hardy movie. It starts with the boys running a dancing school. Ollie is teaching the very refined ballet class. Stan is teaching the beginners and wearing a tutu, of course he is. And the film is, in plot terms, a bit of a jumble. It starts with an extortion racket targeting the school, and they have a huge bill to pay, and then they get involved with one of their pupils who, her boyfriend is working on some kind of invisible ray that's going to help the war effort, and the extortion plot is immediately forgotten. As soon as the gangsters leave, they are instantly arrested, and that's the end of that. And one of the gangsters is played by Robert Mitchum. But throughout the movie, we have the right sort of tone. We don't have Stan and Ollie forced into doing anything that feels out of character for them. We do have reprises of some of their material from earlier films, particularly the auction sequence from their final short, Thicker Than Water. And ultimately the film is sort of wrapped up in very perfunctory style. It is kind of plotless and a shambles, but it does feel like a Laurel and Hardy picture, and it is enjoyable on that level, and I laughed several times, just because this feels right, even if it's substandard. So although it is a big drop from even their second-rate stuff when they were working at Hal Roach, when they did have, for the most part, creative control over individual films, this is still nowhere near as disgraceful as the other work they were forced into doing at Fox. And I think on its own terms, and it's a very light film, it is an hour and 1 minute long, so even if you're not enjoying it, there's not much of it to go. I found it pretty entertaining, and if you were forced to watch it, I don't think you would object too much.